Dr. Aarav Singh adjusted his hat against the harsh sunlight as his team's boat approached the submerged ruins of Dwarka. His eyes, hidden behind a pair of rugged sunglasses, scanned the horizon where the waters met the sky. Below them lay a city steeped in legends, one that had been swallowed by the sea thousands of years ago. For Aarav, this was more than just an archaeological site. It was a puzzle piece in humanity's forgotten cosmic history. As the boat docked at the makeshift pier, Aarav stepped onto the soggy sand, his boots sinking slightly under the weight of his excitement. The crew began unloading equipment, sonar units, diving gear, and sealed crates of scientific instruments. Aarav turned to his young assistant, Mira, who was securing a waterproof case of notebooks and digital recorders. "Do you believe in legends, Mira?" Aarav asked, a slight smile playing on his lips. Mira looked up, tucking a stray lock of hair behind her ear. "I believe in evidence, Dr. Singh, and if the legends lead us to evidence, then yes, I believe." Aarav chuckled. "Good answer. Let's hope the legends of Vimanas, flying chariots guided by the gods, are more than just myths." The team set up their base camp near the shore, with tents and equipment neatly arranged in designated areas. Aarav's tent served as the command center, filled with maps, ancient texts, and digital screens displaying sonar images. The focal point was a large, annotated copy of the Mahabharata, open at a page describing the magnificent flying machines. Over the next few hours, Aarav briefed his team on the day's objectives. They would dive near the central ruins, where recent sonar scans suggested anomalies inconsistent with known architectural patterns. It was a long shot, but every legend had its origin, and Aarav was determined to find it. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting an orange glow over the water, the team geared up for their first dive. Aarav pulled on his dive suit, the fabric hugging his seasoned frame. He checked his oxygen levels and tested his underwater communicator. "Stay within sight and keep your cameras on at all times," Aarav instructed as they waded into the cool, clear water. "We're not just looking for structures, we're looking for anything out of time." The dive was slow and methodical. The ruins of Dwarka were breathtaking, a maze of stone and sediment teeming with marine life. Aarav led the way, his torch cutting through the dark waters, illuminating ancient walls and collapsed columns. Every so often, he would stop to take samples or make notes on his waterproof pad. Then, just as the light from his torch flickered across a particularly unremarkable pile of rubble, something caught his eye. It was a geometric pattern, not natural, but distinctly man-made, and partially buried under sediment. Aarav signaled the team, and together they carefully excavated around the discovery. What emerged was a stone seal, perfectly circular, with inscriptions around its perimeter. But it was what the seal covered that took Aarav's breath away, a metal ring handle attached to a hatch. As the team gathered around in awe, Aarav grasped the handle and pulled. The seal broke with a hiss, betraying the chamber's first contact with the outside world in millennia. Inside, shielded from the corrosive sea, lay the object of so many legends, the outline of what could unmistakably be a Vimana. Aarav's heart raced as he peered inside the dark chamber. This was it, the evidence that could change everything. The legend had resurfaced, and with it, a new chapter of human history beckoned. The discovery of the Vimana's hatch, hidden beneath centuries of sediment and coral, sent ripples of excitement through Dr. Aarav Singh's team. As the sun rose over the Dwarka site the next morning, the air was thick with anticipation. The team, now bolstered by additional experts summoned overnight, prepared for a full excavation under Aarav's watchful eye. "Document everything," Aarav instructed his team as they gathered around the newly exposed hatch. Cameras were set up on tripods, and drones hovered overhead, capturing every moment from multiple angles. Aarav, standing at the water's edge, directed the operation with a calm precision that belied his inner turmoil. With gentle hands and fine tools, the team worked meticulously to clear the hatch area. As the sediment was carefully removed, the true scale of the find became apparent. The hatch was but a part of a larger structure, a metallic dome embedded in the ocean floor, its surface etched with intricate designs and ancient Sanskrit inscriptions. Dr. Aarav Singh, alongside Mira and Dr. Rajesh Gupta, a linguist specializing in ancient languages, began the task of translating the inscriptions. Each symbol whispered secrets of a time when, according to legend, gods walked among men and machines soared through the skies. The inscriptions speak of Garuda, the divine bird and vessel of Lord Vishnu, Rajesh explained, tracing his fingers over the etched symbols. It seems this Vimana was named after the mythic bird. It's described here as a chariot of the gods, capable of traversing the Nabhas, the sky and beyond. As the translation progressed, the team used a sonar probe to map the structure beneath the sediment. The data revealed a surprising find. The dome was just the top of a much larger craft buried under the ocean floor, its shape unmistakably aerodynamic, designed for more than just terrestrial travel. Excitement grew as the team expanded the excavation site. Under Aarav's guidance, they uncovered a section of the craft's hull. The metal was an unknown alloy, lightweight yet incredibly strong, showing no signs of corrosion despite its age. Samples were carefully collected for analysis. "It's unlike anything we've encountered in modern metallurgy," remarked Dr. Anita Desai, the materials scientist on the team. "Its properties might help us understand not just the construction, but possibly even the propulsion techniques used." By midday, the hatch was fully accessible. Aarav decided it was time to see what lay inside the Vimana. Donning protective gear, he signaled to his team, and together with Mira and Rajesh, prepared to enter the ancient craft. The interior of the Vimana was remarkably well preserved. They entered a cockpit filled with control panels, their designs sophisticated yet intuitive. Seats were molded to accommodate pilots, and at the center, a large navigational map dominated the space, its star patterns unfamiliar to the present-day sky. This is a map of the heavens, but not as we know them," Mira whispered, her voice filled with awe. "Look at the alignments. They suggest travel routes, possibly even to other star systems." As Aarav explored further, he found a compartment behind the cockpit, sealed tightly. After a brief consultation with his team, he opened it to reveal a library of sorts, scrolls and tablets made of materials that had miraculously withstood the test of time. "These could be manuals, logs, maybe even scientific texts," Rajesh said, excitement evident in his voice. "They might tell us where this Vimana came from, where it traveled, and who piloted it." As the day wound down, the site was secured, and the team retreated to their camp, minds racing with the possibilities of what the Vimana could reveal. Aarav, looking back at the silhouette of the unearthed craft against the setting sun, felt a profound connection to those ancient travelers who had once soared across the skies. "This is just the beginning," he said to Mira as they walked back to the camp. "Tomorrow, we delve deeper into history than ever before." The dawn at the excavation site brought a cool breeze that swept across the ocean, carrying with it the promise of revelations. Dr. Aarav Singh stood at the edge of the excavation pit, overseeing the careful removal of the Vimana from its ancient seabed grave. With each inch the craft was raised, the buzz among the team intensified. "Steady," Aarav directed, his voice a calm anchor amidst the whirl of activity. The crane operator nodded, expertly maneuvering the hoist to gently lift the Vimana onto a specially designed platform. As the craft settled onto the platform, the team erupted into a muted cheer, aware of the sanctity of their find, yet unable to contain their excitement. Once secured, Aarav allowed himself a moment to touch the hull of the Vimana. The metal was cool and smooth, vibrating with the echoes of its storied past. He felt as if he were touching history itself, connecting with those who had engineered this marvel thousands of years ago. "Now, let's get to work," Aarav announced, turning to his team. "We need to document every detail before we attempt to access the interior." Cameras and sensors were meticulously positioned around the Vimana. Mira and Rajesh led a team cataloging the external inscriptions and designs, while Anita and her materials science team set up equipment to analyze the alloy without causing damage. As the external examination proceeded, Aarav prepared for the more delicate phase of the operation, entering the Vimana. The hatch, once sealed and hidden beneath the ocean's depths, now lay open, inviting them to uncover its secrets. With a nod from Aarav, the team donned their protective suits and entered the Vimana one by one. Inside, they found themselves in a corridor lined with doors, each marked with symbols that Rajesh hurriedly documented for translation. The corridor led to the main control room, which they had glimpsed the day before. Now, standing inside, Aarav was struck by the complexity and beauty of the controls. Panels filled with buttons, levers, and screens formed a semicircle around a central chair that looked out onto a now dark display. "It's like the cockpit of a spacecraft," Mira whispered, her voice filled with wonder, "but so much more advanced." Aarav approached the central console, where a large circular device caught his attention. It was unlike anything he had seen in modern technology. Intricately crafted with gold and silver, it featured a crystalline surface at its center. "Could this be some form of navigation system?" he mused aloud. Rajesh joined him, examining the device with keen interest. "It's possible," Rajesh replied. The inscriptions around it mention paths through the stars and light bridges. This could be how they plotted their courses through space. The team spent hours documenting and carefully testing the functions of the control room. As night began to fall, they realized that they had only scratched the surface of what the Vimana could reveal. "It's time to look at the rest of the craft," Aarav decided. They retraced their steps through the corridor, opening each door to discover what lay beyond. One room appeared to be a living area, complete with furnishings that, while ancient, bore a striking resemblance to modern minimalism. Another room was filled with what appeared to be scientific equipment, possibly for analyzing atmospheric and spatial conditions. The final door at the end of the corridor revealed a small chamber with walls lined with crystals that emitted a faint, pulsating light. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, upon which rested a metallic scroll case. Aarav carefully opened it, revealing scrolls made from a material that shimmered with a light of its own. "These could be records of their journeys," Aarav said, awe coloring his tone. "Maybe even a logbook of their explorations." As the team gathered around, Aarav unrolled the first scroll. The script was unfamiliar, its symbols flowing beautifully across the material. "We'll need time to translate this," Rajesh said, his eyes alight with the thrill of the unknown. "But I think these will tell us not only where they went, but perhaps why they never returned." Exhausted yet exhilarated, the team sealed the Vimana for the night, leaving security in place. As they returned to camp, the stars overhead seemed to shine a little brighter, each one a potential destination that the ancient Vimana's occupants might have visited. "This is more than an archaeological find," Aarav reflected as he gazed up at the night sky. "It's a gateway to understanding our place in the cosmos." The next morning, with the first light of dawn casting a golden hue over the sea, the excavation site was abuzz with activity once more. Dr. Aarav Singh, after a short night of restless anticipation, was already at the site, overseeing the preparation for a thorough examination of the Vimana's internal systems. "Let's focus on the technology today," Aarav announced to the team. "We need to understand how this craft was powered and controlled. Anita, your team should prioritize analyzing the materials found in the engine and power compartments." Anita, alongside her materials science team, set up their portable lab equipment near the rear of the Vimana, where the engine was housed. The engine, unlike anything seen in modern aerospace, was compact yet incredibly intricate, featuring an array of unfamiliar metallic alloys and crystalline structures. As Anita's team began their analysis, Rajesh and Mira continued to translate the ancient texts and inscriptions. Their work was critical to understanding the functions of the various control systems and navigation tools within the cockpit. The language here is a variant of Vedic Sanskrit, but with many terms that don't have direct translations in any known language, Rajesh explained to Aarav. They seem to describe technologies and concepts related to space-time manipulation and energy harnessing. Inside the Vimana, Aarav led a small group to the control room to begin a systematic analysis of the consoles. Each button and lever was photographed, labeled, and gently tested to deduce its function. They discovered that some controls still responded with faint lights and subtle vibrations, hinting at a dormant energy still present within the craft. Mira, who had developed a tentative understanding of the Vimana's navigation system, attempted to interact with the crystalline device at the center of the console. To her surprise, when she placed her hand near the crystal, it began to glow softly, projecting a holographic star map above the console. "This must be a star chart," Mira said, her voice filled with excitement. "Look, These constellations don't match anything in our current night sky. These positions could be thousands, if not millions, of years old. Aarav examined the star map, noting several marked routes that extended far beyond the solar system. This map could lead us to other planets or galaxies visited by the ancient travelers. It's a map of their journeys through the stars. Meanwhile, Anita came over from her station with preliminary findings on the materials used in the Vimana's construction. The alloys contain elements that are not on the periodic table as we know it, she reported. And the crystals in the engine seem to function as a high-capacity energy storage device, possibly powered by a form of nuclear fusion that we've yet to understand. The implications of her findings were profound, suggesting a civilization that had mastered advanced physics and materials science far beyond contemporary human capabilities. As the day progressed, the team uncovered more functionalities within the control room. A console towards the back, once activated, displayed a series of complex engineering schematics and operational manuals, all in the same cryptic script. We'll need to translate these documents to fully grasp the technological principles of the Vimana, Aarav decided. But every piece of data brings us closer to understanding not only their technology but their view of the universe. As the sun set, casting long shadows over the excavation site, Aarav stood before the Vimana, deep in thought. They had unearthed a machine that challenged the boundaries of human history and science. The next steps would involve deeper collaborations with experts from around the globe to unlock the secrets of the Vimana fully. This craft is not just an archaeological treasure, Aarav mused aloud. It's a beacon from the past, guiding us to rethink our place in the cosmos and our understanding of what is possible. With the Vimana's technologies beginning to unveil their secrets, the discovery soon sparked widespread interest and debate across the globe. Dr. Aarav Singh and his team found themselves at the center of a storm of media attention, academic scrutiny, and government curiosity. Early that morning, as Aarav reviewed the latest translations and analyses, his phone rang incessantly. News outlets clamored for interviews, and representatives from various scientific communities demanded access to the findings. "We need to manage this carefully," Aarav said to his team during their morning briefing. "The world will want to know, but we must ensure the information is accurate and not misinterpreted." Despite their efforts to control the release of information, leaked photos and partial data from the site began circulating online. Skeptics questioned the authenticity of the discovery, proposing it was a hoax or misinterpretation of the artifacts. Meanwhile, enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists speculated about alien influences and hidden histories, adding to the frenzy. Amidst this public spectacle, a government official, Mr. Varun Malhotra from the Indian Department of Science and Technology, visited the site. His presence was polite but firm, indicating the government's increasing interest in the Vimana's potential applications. "Dr. Singh, while we appreciate the scientific significance of your work, we must consider the national security implications," Malhotra explained as they walked along the perimeter of the excavation site. "This technology could change the balance of power globally. It's imperative that it remains under our control." Aarav understood the concerns, but remained committed to his principle of scientific openness. "This discovery belongs to all of humanity, Mr. Malhotra," Aarav responded. "It must be studied openly by the global community to ensure it benefits everyone and not just a few." Malhotra nodded, though his expression remained non-committal. "We will be watching closely. You have our support, but also our attention, Dr. Singh." As Malhotra departed, the team discussed the need for increased security and confidentiality. They decided to implement stricter access controls and began planning a detailed presentation for the upcoming International Astronautical Congress. Throughout the following weeks, as the team prepared their findings, the site became a fortress. Security personnel patrolled the area, and all data transmissions were encrypted. Despite these precautions, the intrigue surrounding the Vimana only grew stronger. Mira, while working late one night on the translations, noticed an anomaly in the data logs. Someone had attempted to access the Vimana's navigational systems remotely. Alarmed, she reported this to Aarav. "This confirms it. There are parties out there who want this technology for themselves, and they're not waiting for us to reveal our findings, Aarav concluded, tightening security further and hastening their work. In the lab, as the team decoded more of the Vimana's manuals, they uncovered references to a Council of Worlds, a coalition of planets that managed interstellar travel and diplomacy. This revelation added a new layer of complexity to their understanding of the Vimana's origins and purposes. The implications of this are enormous, Rajesh said during one of their IEU sessions. We're not just looking at an ancient civilization from Earth, but possibly an ancient interstellar community. The Vimana could be the key to understanding our place in a much larger universe. With their presentation looming, the team worked tirelessly, aware that each piece of information could alter human understanding of history and science. Aarav felt the weight of their responsibility, not just to their peers, but to the world at large. As the day of the presentation drew near, Aarav looked over the sea, contemplating the journey ahead. This is more than science. It's a new chapter of human history, he mused, ready to share their findings with the world, yet cautious of the Pandora's box they were about to open. As the day of the International Astronautical Congress approached, Dr. Aarav Singh and his team intensified their efforts to decipher the Vimana's more complex systems. Amidst the mounting pressure from both the scientific community and government entities, they made groundbreaking progress that would soon reshape humanity's understanding of history and technology. The team had established a secure, makeshift laboratory directly adjacent to the Vimana, equipped with advanced diagnostic tools and surrounded by tight security. Here, they focused on the craft's propulsion system, which remained the most enigmatic component. Anita and her assistant were the first to discover that the crystalline structures within the engine were not just energy stores, but also part of a sophisticated network that seemed to manipulate gravitational fields. It's as if these crystals can bend space-time around the craft, Anita explained, showing Aarav the fluctuating energy patterns on her instruments. This could explain how the Vimana achieved interstellar travel, Aarav pondered. By manipulating gravity, it could effectively shorten the distance between 2 points in space, a real-life application of theoretical physics we've only begun to explore. Meanwhile, Rajesh and Meera managed to translate a significant portion of the navigational manual. The text described protocols for traversing what were termed stargates, natural wormholes stabilized by ancient technologies. These gates apparently allowed instant travel between different regions of the galaxy, Meera noted, her eyes wide with the implications of such a network. As they pieced together the operational aspects of the Vimana, the team also uncovered a logbook detailing various missions. These logs mentioned diplomatic missions to distant worlds, scientific explorations, and even emergency interventions to prevent cosmic catastrophes. Each entry was meticulously recorded, showcasing a civilization deeply involved in cosmic stewardship. With the Congress just days away, Aarav organized a meeting to finalize their presentation. The team gathered around a large table, surrounded by monitors displaying the Vimana and various translations and data analyses. We need to be clear about the potential of this technology, Aarav began. It's not just about the propulsion or the energy systems. It's about what this means for human history and our future. We have evidence of a technologically advanced civilization that thrived on Earth and interacted with the cosmos. This shifts our understanding of our own past and future potential. The discussion turned to the implications of disclosing such revolutionary information. They debated how to present their findings to avoid causing public fear or misunderstanding. We must emphasize the peaceful purpose of these missions and the opportunity for humanity to learn from this, Rajesh suggested. We need to inspire a united approach to exploring and potentially joining this Council of Worlds. The team agreed to highlight the prospects for technological advancement and interstellar diplomacy. They prepared detailed descriptions of the Vimana's systems, supplemented by videos of the craft and animations of its supposed travel routes through the stargates. On the eve of the Congress, as they rehearsed their presentation, Aarav felt a mixture of excitement and responsibility. This is more than just a scientific revelation. It's a message from our ancestors, he reflected. We are not alone, and we've never been. Our history is as much out there in the stars as it is here on Earth. As the team packed up for the night, security alerts signaled an intrusion at the perimeter of the excavation site. Aarav and the team rushed to the monitors, where they saw figures attempting to breach the security barriers. The stakes of their discovery were high, and it was clear that some were willing to go to great lengths to control or suppress the information. This discovery belongs to all of humanity, Aarav declared as they contacted the authorities, and we will ensure it benefits everyone, no matter the challenges we face. As the night deepened into a tense vigil following the security breach, Dr. Aarav Singh and his team managed to secure the site with the help of local authorities. The intruders were detained, revealing under interrogation that they were part of a private consortium eager to exploit the Vimana's technology for commercial gain. The incident underscored the significant global interest in the Vimana and its implications, prompting even more stringent security measures around the excavation site. In the aftermath of the breach, Mr. Varun Malhotra, the government official previously introduced to Dr. Singh, returned to the site. His demeanor had shifted from politely curious to overtly concerned, reflecting the heightened attention from various national and international bodies. Dr. Singh, while your team's dedication to scientific integrity is admirable, we cannot ignore the broader implications of this discovery, Malhotra stated firmly as they walked through the newly fortified camp. The government must assume a greater role in overseeing and securing this technology. Aarav, wary of governmental overreach but understanding of the national security concerns, replied, "We appreciate the government's concerns, Mr. Malhotra, but it's crucial that this discovery remains in the scientific domain. We must avoid militarizing or monopolizing this technology." Malhotra nodded, his expression unreadable. The Prime Minister wants assurances that all findings will be shared with the government before public disclosure. We're prepared to support your research with additional resources, but this partnership must be formalized. Faced with little choice, Aarav agreed to a provisional arrangement. The government would provide additional security and resources, while the team would consult with state officials on the dissemination of their findings. It was a delicate balance, maintaining scientific freedom while navigating the complexities of international diplomacy and security. With the government now directly involved, the next few days were a whirlwind of meetings and briefings. Aarav and his team meticulously documented every system and artifact within the Vimana, preparing exhaustive reports and digital records. During one such briefing with government scientists and security advisors, Dr. Anita Desai presented her latest findings on the Vimana's propulsion system. We've discovered that the crystals are not just power sources, but part of a larger quantum entanglement network. This could theoretically allow for instantaneous data transmission across vast distances, bypassing conventional electromagnetic communications. The room buzzed with the implications of such technology. Secure, instantaneous communication could revolutionize not just space travel, but every facet of global communications. However, it also posed significant risks if misused or weaponized. As the date of the International Astronautical Congress drew near, Aarav felt the weight of the world on his shoulders. The team worked tirelessly, often skipping sleep, to ensure their presentation was both thorough and responsible. They included cautionary notes on the potential misuses of the technology and emphasized the need for an international treaty to govern its use. The evening before their departure for the Congress, Aarav gathered his team for a final meeting. "Tomorrow, we not only share our discoveries, but also set the course for how humanity will handle such profound knowledge," he said, looking each of his team members in the eyes. "We must stand united, advocating for peace and scientific progress." The meeting ended with a sense of resolve. Each member understood the historical significance of their work and the delicate diplomacy it required. They packed up their research, securing it both physically and digitally, and prepared for what would undoubtedly be one of the most significant days of their careers. As they left the meeting, Aarav stayed back to look over the Vimana one last time. The craft, silent and imposing in the dim light, was not just a relic of the past, but a beacon for the future. Aarav hoped that humanity was ready for both the wonders and responsibilities it symbolized. The day after solidifying the government partnership, Dr. Aarav Singh dedicated his efforts to assembling an international team of experts. This new phase was critical not only to broaden the understanding and technological exploration of the Vimana, but also to prepare a nuanced and well-rounded presentation for the International Astronautical Congress. Aarav started by consulting his close colleague, Dr. Lena Weber, a renowned German physicist known for her work on quantum mechanics and its application to space travel. Lena had followed the Vimana discovery with keen interest, and she was enthusiastic about joining the team. The possibilities this craft presents for quantum physics and space exploration are unprecedented, she remarked during a video call with Aarav. Her expertise would be crucial in decoding more complex systems within the Vimana and theorizing their applications. Next, Aarav reached out to Dr. Tanya Petrov, a Russian astrophysicist and expert in cosmic navigation systems. Tanya's work had involved theoretical pathways through wormholes, making her an ideal candidate to help understand the Vimana's navigational capabilities as described in the ancient texts. She was intrigued by the prospect of actualizing her theories and agreed to join the team, eager to apply her knowledge to the star maps and routes depicted in the Vimana. To tackle the potential communication technologies suggested by the Vimana's quantum entanglement network, Aarav enlisted Dr. Eric Chen, a Chinese-American engineer specializing in quantum communications. Eric's recent work on secure communication channels using quantum cryptography would provide valuable insights into the practical applications of the Vimana's systems for modern technology. With the core team expanded, Aarav also recruited several linguists and historians to continue the deep dive into the cultural and historical context of the Vimana. This group was led by Dr. Amrita Joshi, an Indian historian with a deep understanding of ancient Vedic texts. Her role was to ensure the accurate interpretation of the Vimana's inscriptions and manuals, providing a clearer picture of the intentions and ethos of its creators. Once assembled, Aarav convened a virtual meeting with the entire team to align their objectives and approach. Our goal is to present a holistic view of the Vimana, combining our scientific, historical, and ethical perspectives, Aarav explained. This discovery isn't just a technological marvel, it's a cultural heritage that offers insights into a more interconnected universe. The team worked feverishly over the next few weeks, analyzing every piece of data, running simulations, and preparing detailed reports on their findings. Lena Fo cued on the propulsion system, collaborating closely with Anita to hypothesize how the Vimana could manipulate gravitational fields. Tanya and Eric teamed up to dissect the navigational and communication systems, proposing models for how ancient civilizations might have used these technologies to maintain a network across space. Amrita and her group of linguists and historians worked to contextualize every discovery, weaving a narrative that highlighted the peaceful and exploratory nature of the Vimana's missions. Their research suggested that the creators of the Vimana viewed themselves as part of a larger cosmic community, with responsibilities that transcended their home planet. As the Congress approached, Aarav reviewed the comprehensive presentation, impressed by the depth and breadth of the work his team had achieved in such a short time. The final slide deck was a testament to their dedication and collaborative spirit, ready to unveil not only a technological wonder, but also a message of unity and exploration from the ancient past. The night before their departure for the Congress, the team gathered for a final meeting. Tomorrow, we share our journey with the world, Aarav addressed the group, a sense of solemnity in his voice. Let's ensure that the legacy of the Vimana is honored as a beacon of our shared potential for discovery, peace, and progress. With their research secure and the presentation polished, the team felt a cautious optimism. They were about to step onto the world stage, proposing a new paradigm for understanding our place in the universe. With the team fully assembled and the International Astronautical Congress just days away, Dr. Aarav Singh directed a final, comprehensive review of the Vimana. They aimed to ensure that every possible aspect was explored, leaving no stone unturned. It was during this thorough examination that the team stumbled upon a previously unnoticed mechanism hidden within the Vimana's intricate dashboard. Aarav, along with Dr. Lena Weber and Dr. Eric Chen, was scrutinizing the control panel's layout when Lena noticed an irregularity in the panel's pattern. "Look here," she pointed out, her fingers tracing a series of subtle indentations that seemed incongruous with the surrounding designs. "This doesn't match the symmetry we've observed elsewhere." Intrigued, Aarav examined the area more closely. Applying a gentle pressure to the indentations, he felt a slight give. Encouraged, he pressed harder, and with a quiet click, a hidden compartment slowly opened, revealing a small, cylindrical device cradled in a velvet-lined recess. The device was unlike anything they had seen so far. It was made of the same unfamiliar alloy as the rest of the Vimana, but was adorned with fine gold filigree and tiny glowing gemstones that pulsed with a soft light. "This must be something important, perhaps a key or a storage device," Eric speculated, his eyes reflecting both the light from the device and his excitement. The team decided to analyze the device without removing it from the Vimana. Using non-invasive scanning technology, they discovered that the device was not only a sophisticated storage medium, but also appeared to be an advanced form of AI, possibly serving as the central intelligence of the Vimana. This could be the pilot's interface, a way to communicate directly with the Vimana's systems, Lena suggested. They hooked up the scanner to the device, initiating a data transfer to see if they could access any information stored within. As the data streamed onto their monitors, the team was astonished. The device contained detailed logs and records of numerous voyages the Vimana had undertaken, complete with navigational routes, diplomatic encounters, and even philosophical musings by its users. The AI's interface offered a narrative of the civilization's ethos and their exploratory and diplomatic principles. Dr. Tanya Petrov, analyzing the Naviga Tynal data, realized that some of the routes corresponded to unstable wormholes that modern science had only theorized about. They weren't just using technology to travel, they were manipulating the very fabric of space-time, she noted, awed by the implications. Meanwhile, Amrita Joshi and her team delved into the philosophical texts, which revealed a deep commitment to cosmic stewardship and peace. These were not conquerors or mere explorers, Amrita explained to the group. They viewed themselves as guardians of the balance, mediators in cosmic disputes, and seekers of knowledge. With this new wealth of information, Aarav knew their presentation at the Congress had gained an even deeper layer of significance. They had evidence of a highly advanced, ethically guided civilization that had once thrived on Earth, their legacy encoded in the Vimana and now ready to be shared with humanity. The final preparations for the Congress were marked by a blend of urgency and meticulous care. The team updated their presentation to include their latest findings, emphasizing the potential for modern science to benefit from understanding the Vimana's technology and the philosophical insights of its creators. As they boarded the plane to the Congress, each team member was aware of the historical weight of their upcoming presentation. They were not just introducing a forgotten technology to the world, they were advocating for a new way to view human potential and responsibility in the broader universe. "This is a turning point for us all," Aarav mused as the plane took off. "May we honor the legacy of the Vimana's creators by advancing not just our technology, but our understanding of peace and stewardship in the cosmos." Upon arriving at the International Astronautical Congress, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Scholars, scientists, and policymakers from around the world gathered, eager to hear about the latest advancements in space science and exploration. Amidst this buzzing crowd, Dr. Aarav Singh and his team carried the weight of their groundbreaking discovery, ready to present the Vimana and its secrets to the world. The conference hall was packed as the time for their presentation approached. Aarav, accompanied by Lena, Tanya, Eric, and Amrita, stood backstage, reviewing their slides and notes one last time. "Let's remind everyone that what we're presenting isn't just a step forward in technology, but a leap towards understanding our place in the cosmos," Aarav encouraged his team. As they were introduced, the team took the stage to a round of polite applause. Aarav began the presentation with an overview of the Vimana's discovery and the initial findings. He then passed the spotlight to Lena, who explained the advanced propulsion and gravitational manipulation technologies they had uncovered. Tanya took over to detail the navigational capabilities, including the use of stabilized wormholes, which drew gasps and murmurs from the audience. Her segment included simulations of the Vimana's routes, illustrating how the ancient civilization had managed interstellar travel. Eric discussed the quantum communication systems, proposing how these could revolutionize modern telecommunications. His explanations of potential applications in secure, instantaneous data transfer held the audience captive. Finally, Amrita shared insights into the philosophical and ethical texts found within the Vimana. She spoke of the civilization's dedication to peace, their role as cosmic stewards, and their sophisticated understanding of interstellar diplomacy. Their legacy is not just technological, it's a blueprint for how we might engage with the universe, she concluded, her words resonating deeply with many in the room. The presentation concluded with a Q&A session, during which the team addressed a myriad of questions ranging from technical specifics to the broader implications of their findings. ANSI was overwhelmingly positive, with many expressing a desire to collaborate in further studies and applications of the Vimana's technologies. Following the session, government representatives from various countries approached the team, expressing interest in forming a global coalition to study the Vimana under United Nations oversight. They proposed creating an international research facility where scientists from around the world could study the Vimana's technology collaboratively. Amidst these promising developments, Aarav received an unexpected request. A group of diplomats from the United Nations asked him and his team to brief the UN Security Council on the potential impacts of the Vimana's discovery on global security and diplomacy. Recognizing the importance of this opportunity, Aarav agreed, understanding that their findings could influence international policies and foster a new era of global cooperation. The day ended with the team feeling a mixture of exhaustion and exhilaration. They had not only introduced the world to a forgotten ancient technology, but had also sparked a global conversation about the future of humanity in space and our responsibilities as members of a potentially larger cosmic community. That night, back at their hotel, the team gathered to celebrate their successful presentation. Over dinner, they discussed the day's events and the road ahead. Today, we've not only shared a discovery, but have potentially shaped the future direction of human space exploration and international relations, Aarav reflected. Let's continue to lead this endeavor with the wisdom and foresight that the Vimana's creators showed. As they toasted to their success in the future, the reality of their achievement began to sink in. They were no longer just researchers of the past. They were active participants in defining the future. In the days following the International Astronautical Congress, Dr. Aarav Singh and his team found themselves at the center of a whirlwind of global attention and diplomacy. The United Nations had moved quickly to set up a special session where Aarav and his team would present their findings to the UN Security Council. The goal was to discuss the implications of the Vimana's technology on international security and to explore the formation of a global coalition to oversee further research and applications. The morning of the UN session, Aarav gathered his team for a final briefing in a quiet room at the UN headquarters. Today, we not only represent our respective fields and countries, but we also carry the responsibility of ensuring this technology is used for the betterment of humanity. Aarav addressed his team, the weight of the moment evident in his voice. As they entered the Security Council chamber, the gravity of the situation settled upon each team member. The room was filled with representatives from every member state, all awaiting the presentation that could potentially change the course of human technological advancement and international relations. Aarav began the presentation by summarizing their findings from the Congress, emphasizing the peaceful nature of the ancient civilization and their stewardship of cosmic resources. He then outlined the potential applications of the Vimana's technologies, from advancements in energy and propulsion systems to revolutionary communication methods. However, it was during the segment on the implications for global security that the room's atmosphere tensed. Aarav proposed that the Vimana's technology could, if misused, lead to unprecedented weapons developments. To counteract this, he advocated for a treaty that would govern the use of such technologies, ensuring they were used only for peaceful purposes and the betterment of mankind. "Let us be the stewards of this technology, as the Vimana's creators were of theirs," Aarav concluded, his statement resonating across the silent chamber. The discussion that followed was intense. Representatives debated the formation of an international committee that would not only research but also regulate and oversee the distribution and application of the technology. The debate stretched on, with some nations pushing for immediate, unrestricted access to the technology, while others, led by Aarav's persuasive arguments, called for cautious, regulated exploration. After hours of negotiation, a resolution was proposed: the creation of the International Committee for the Study and Application of Ancient Technologies, ICSAT, which would operate under the auspices of the United Nations. The committee would be tasked with overseeing all research involving the Vimana's technologies, ensuring transparency and preventing militarization. The resolution passed with overwhelming support, and Aarav's team was asked to play a central role in ICSAT. This new role meant they would continue their work on the Vimana, but now as part of an international effort to harness its secrets for the good of all humanity. As the session adjourned, the team felt a mix of relief and excitement. They had not only secured a future for their discovery, but had also helped lay the groundwork for a new era of international cooperation and peace. Celebrations followed, but for Aarav, the day held a deeper significance. In his hotel room that evening, he reflected on the journey, from unearthing the Vimana to presenting it on a global stage. It was a testament to the power of collaboration and the enduring human spirit of exploration. "Today we made history," Aarav noted in his journal, "not just in uncovering the past, but in shaping the future. May this be just the beginning." The formation of the International Committee for the Study and Application of Ancient Technologies, ICSAT, marked a new chapter in global cooperation and scientific exploration. Dr. Aarav Singh, now appointed as the Chief Scientific Advisor for ICSAT, led the committee with a vision that combined rigorous scientific inquiry with a deep commitment to ethical stewardship. In the weeks that followed, the ICSAT headquarters became a hub of activity, situated in Geneva, Switzerland. Scientists, engineers, diplomats, and scholars from around the world congregated, bringing diverse perspectives and expertise to the study of the Vimana. The facility itself was equipped with state-of-the-art laboratories, conference rooms, and secure communication systems, ensuring that all research conducted was transparent and accessible to member nations. Aarav initiated a series of projects under ICSAT's umbrella: the Propulsion Project, led by Dr. Lena Weber. This team focused on unraveling the secrets of the Vimana's gravity manipulation technology. Their goal was to develop sustainable propulsion systems that could one day power interstellar travel without relying on conventional fuel sources. The Communication Project, overseen by Dr. Eric Chen, researchers in this group explored the Vimana's quantum communication devices. They aimed to revolutionize how data was transmitted, making communication instantaneous and secure across vast distances. The Cultural Integration Project, Dr. Amrita Joshi headed this initiative, which delved into the philosophical and ethical texts found within the Vimana. The project sought to integrate these ancient principles of cosmic stewardship and diplomacy into modern policies and educational programs. As the projects progressed, Aarav frequently briefed the United Nations and the global community, maintaining a transparent dialogue about their findings and the potential applications. The world watched as each breakthrough brought humanity closer to a new era of technological advancement and cosmic exploration. Meanwhile, public interest in the Vimana and its origins continued to grow. Documentaries, educational programs, and interactive exhibits about the Vimana and its civilization were developed, sparking a renewed interest in space exploration and ancient technologies among the younger generations. 6 months after the establishment of ICSAT, Aarav organized the first Global Cosmic Stewardship Conference, hosted in Geneva. The conference brought together world leaders, scientists, and thinkers to discuss the future of human interaction with outer space. Topics included the ethical implications of space colonization, the responsibilities of cosmic exploration, and the role of artificial intelligence in shaping future societies. During his keynote speech at the conference, Aarav reflected on the journey that had begun with the discovery of the Vimana. "We stand at the threshold of a new frontier," he declared, "not just in technology, but in our understanding of our place in the universe. The Vimana has taught us that our ancestors looked to the stars not as conquerors, but as guardians and explorers. Let us carry forward this legacy as we step into the cosmos." The conference ended with the signing of the Geneva Declaration on Cosmic Stewardship, a document endorsed by all attending nations, pledging to pursue space exploration responsibly and cooperatively, respecting both the cosmic environment and the rights of all sentient beings they might encounter. As Aarav returned to his office at ICSAT headquarters after the conference, he looked out over the peaceful Lake Geneva, contemplating the future. The Vimana, once a relic of the past, had ignited a global movement towards a future where humanity recognized its role not just on Earth, but as part of a larger cosmic community. "This is just the beginning," Aarav thought, a smile playing on his lips as he